You're welcome to today's live. So today we're going to be looking at UK family visa. We're going to look at how foreigners in the United Kingdom can obtain a valid UK family visa. So this is a comprehensive guide. So guys, if you are a foreigner and you have a loved one in the UK, like a spouse or a child, you would be looking for a UK family visa. So now, for you to obtain the UK family visa, there are certain steps one would have to take. So last year, sometime around August, I applied for my UK family visa and I got it. So I thought I'm going to put this out here today just to help anyone that might be preparing or already going through the process of obtaining a UK family visa. So guys, obtaining a valid UK family visa can be an essential process for foreign nationals looking to reunite or stay with their family members in the UK. So it could be that you were once living with your family in the UK, or you were living somewhere else with your family outside the UK, but you now want to start living in the UK with your family. So now the UK offers several specific, visas for these categories. Now we have the spouses visas, we have children visas, and we have dependent adults. But for the purpose of this live stream, my main focus is going to be on spouse visa and children's visa. So guys, let's quickly go into the types of UK family visa. Thank you very much for joining me today. So today we're going to be looking at how to apply for a UK family visa, what to do if you don't have your complete documents, what to do when you are in doubt, what to do when you think all hope is lost, or what to do when you think you have become an overstayer in the United Kingdom. So my name is Blessing Ame, and in case you're wondering why I am talking to you about UK partner visa or UK family visa, this is because I applied for mine last year successfully and I got one, and I thought I'd put out my 2 cents out there for you all to see or learn from. So guys, let's look at the types of UK family visa. We've said that earlier, but let's go through it again. Now, the first one is a spouse or partner visa. This is for those married to or in a civil partnership with a British citizen or a settled person. So a spouse visa is for people that are married to British citizens or someone with a settled status. So who is a person with a settled status? So someone with a settled status could be from any other part of the world, could be from Africa, from Asia, but they are already settled here. They could be from the EU and they could be settled here already. That means they already have their indefinite leave to remain. So guys, for this morning, we're speaking about spouse visas, we're speaking about fiancés visas, we're speaking about children visa, and we're speaking about adult dependent or relative visas. So guys, a spouse visa, like I said, is a visa for those married to or in a civil relationship or partnership with a British person or a settled person. The second one is the fiancé visa. This is for those intending to marry a British citizen or settled person within the next 6 months. So guys, note the difference between the spouse visa and the fiancé visa. So for a spouse visa or a partner visa, you must have been married to the person. And for a partner's visa, you must have been cohabiting or you must have been in a relationship with the person for 2 years and the relationship is akin to marriage. So what is a relationship that is akin to marriage? So under common law, when a man and a woman have stayed together for 2 years, when they've lived together under one roof, or they've been acting or doing things that we would deem they are married, that makes them married, or that makes them in a partnership. So if you're applying for a UK partner visa, the first thing you want to think about is, are you married to a British citizen or someone with a settled status? The second thing you want to think about is, are you intending to marry the person, or what level is your relationship at the moment? So guys, if you want to apply for a UK family visa, there are general requirements for a UK family visa. Now, the general eligibility criteria. For you to be able to apply for a UK family visa, there has to be a relationship first. So, in fact, I don't need to explain this. So you can't just wake up and say you have a relationship with someone. So they always need proof of relationship. Now, a proof of relationship could be a valid marriage certificate or evidence of cohabitation for unmarried couple. So guys, if you have a marriage certificate, it makes the process so easy for you. If you guys are not married yet and you are planning to apply for this visa, I would advise that you get married. So when you come to apply for your visa, you're not putting so much evidence and so much explanations in it. But when you're not married, you get to do a lot of explaining and you get to put a lot of evidence in to support your proof of relationship. So we said the basic requirements for a UK family visa before you can be eligible, before you can even approach UKVI to say, I need a visa, you must have a relationship. So you either have a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a child. There just has to be a relationship. Now, the second one is the financial requirement. The UK sponsor must meet the minimum income requirement, typically set at 18,600. So your partner, that's the sponsor, the UK citizen or the person with the settled status, needs to be earning at least £18,600 every year before you can apply for a partner visa. Now, there are exceptions to this. If your partner is not earning 18,600, there might be reasons for this. We'll get to that later. So we said, number one, you need relationship proof. You need to prove that you are in a valid relationship. Financial requirement. The UK sponsor must be earning 18,600, but there are situations where the person does not need to earn this. So you would need to show reasons why the person is not earning this, and you will need to justify it. So guys, we're moving on to the English language requirements. Now, to start living in the UK, to get a family visa in the United Kingdom, you need to be proficient in English. You need to have a basic understanding of English language, especially partner visa, spouse visa. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to at least read a little bit to get from sign A to sign B. So guys, you need to demonstrate that you are proficient in English language. So you need to pass an English language test. As for me, personally, when I was applying for my visa, I didn't have to sit for an English language test because I presented the UKVI with a certificate, of completion of a master's degree in law. So if you have a master's degree taught in a UK university, you can also present this as your English language proficiency proof. Now, the next one is accommodation. There must be adequate accommodation for the applicant and their family without the need for public assistance. Proof such as rental agreement or property deed must be provided. So guys, there has to be an accommodation. So if you are planning to apply for a UK visa, if you know where you're living currently is a little bit overcrowded, you need to sort it before you go apply for your visa. So guys, you need to also show genuine relationship. Remember, number one, we said you need to have a relationship. Now that you have a relationship, is that relationship genuine, or did you go into that relationship for the purpose of this visa? So guys, your relationship needs to be genuine, especially in the case of spouse and partners visa. The relationship needs to be subsisting and still existing, still ongoing. Not a relationship you went into 3 months ago because you're about to apply for a visa. So you need a genuine relationship. Now, the Home Office scrutinizes evidence such as joint bank accounts, photos, and communication records. I'll explain this. Proving genuine relationship has a lot of legs and hands, but I'm going to talk about it later. Now, guys, you need to pass the tuberculosis test. Again, I didn't have to take the tuberculosis test last year because when I was coming to the United Kingdom in 2018 for my master's, I took the tuberculosis test in Abuja, Nigeria. It came out negative, and I've been in the United Kingdom since 2018. I've not traveled out of the United Kingdom and stayed for over 6 months. So I don't have to do another tuberculosis test when I'm applying for a partner visa. So we said you need to have a relationship with a British citizen or someone that is already settled in the United Kingdom. you need to show that your relationship is genuine, is subsisting, your relationship is real, not something you just made up. Now, if you cannot really prove your relationship, the Home Office looks at things like phone records, pictures, and other communication records. So guys, we said you need to show that you have a genuine relationship. You need to show that you have accommodation, and you need to be able to speak English language. So now we're going to be looking at some common pitfalls to avoid when you're applying for your UK family visa. So a lot of people fall into this category. You don't want to fall into this category. The first thing you have to note is when you are applying for your visa, whoever is going to look at your application, you're not going to be there to answer their questions. So if they have any doubt as to the documents you have put in already, you won't be there to defend yourself. So before I even go into the common pitfalls, the number one thing you want to do when you're applying for a UK visa, let me tell you my own tactics. Let me tell you my strategy. As I said, my name is Blessing Ame. I put one evidence there to show that my name is Blessing Ame. That is my ECOWAS passport. The moment I said I live at number XYZ Aberdeen, I put in one of my payslip to show that I actually live there. The moment I said I am in a relationship with my boyfriend, I quickly put in evidence of our phone chats to show how we met on a dating app. I put it there. Now, I still wanted to show that our relationship is still subsisting, and in fact, we're in a genuine and loving relationship. So we lost our son. We intended to put in our son's birth certificate as our supporting evidence, but my son died last year, so we couldn't get that evidence to put in as our supporting certificate. So when it was time to apply for my partner's visa, I did not have all my documents complete, but I still went ahead to apply. So guys, if you are applying for your visa, the number one thing you want to do is to put enough documents, as much as possible. You are not going to be there to answer for yourself. Now, when the immigration or when the immigration officer has a doubt, you know, he can't pick up his phone and call you and say, hello, I don't understand what you wrote here. So guys, don't fall for insufficient documentation. Make sure you put in a lot of documents, as much as possible. Now, look at one mistake I made when I was applying for my own visa. They asked for my sponsor's 6 months bank statement, and I ended up giving them just 1 month's, statement. And I was lucky, and the Home Office wrote back to me asking for 6 months statements, which I gave them, and I got my visa. But again, you might not be lucky at all time, them calling you back to ask for more documents. So guys, you need to put in sufficient documents as much as possible. Again, the failure to meet the financial requirements. If you know you cannot meet the financial requirement, please don't apply for the 5-year route. You can apply under exceptional circumstances. Explaining to the Home Office why you're failing to meet the financial requirements. A lot of applicants cannot meet the financial requirements, but they go and apply for 5 years routes, to getting their indefinite leave to remain. So if you know that you don't have enough money, if you know that your partner is not earning 16.8, or you're not earning 16.8, or you don't have savings over 35k pounds, guys, just apply for the 10-year route. They will be more lenient with you because they believe you are going to be able to regularize things and put yourself together before 10 years. But when you ask for the 5 years visa, they know that life can happen, and in 5 years, you might not even be settled yet, and you'll be looking for your indefinite leave to remain. So if you don't have enough documentation and you don't have sufficient, or you don't meet the financial requirement, please and please apply for a 10 years route. Don't apply for a 5 years route. Again, inadequate proof of relationships. Like I said earlier, you cannot be there to explain yourself to the immigration officer. So as you are putting in your application, you are putting in evidence. So now, in the place of proving your relationship, as I was saying earlier, let me tell you how I put in my own application. So where you're trying to write about your relationship, when you write, my name is Mr. John, and I met my wife, Madam Clara, at XYZ, try and look for evidence of a picture you guys took then and put there. Again, when I said me and my wife, Clara, we've been living together for 3 years, we are able to show you receipts from Amazon, shopping receipts, and the rest of them. Again, if you say you have been living with this person for 2 years and you want to prove your relationship, get your family and your friends and your neighbors to write, to corroborate the story you have already told the Home Office. If you know you're actually living in that place or you've been living with that person, you have nothing to fear. So meet the person's family. That's your sponsor. Let your sponsor's family corroborate your story. Make sure you tell them no lies. So when you say the truth, you are likely you're likely to be in trouble. Just say the truth, but put enough document as much as possible. Don't try to hold back your document and think it's too much. It's never too much. If possible, upload 500 documents with your application. Nobody is stopping you. So if you're not in a relationship with if you're in a relationship with a British partner, but you don't have documents to show for it, you can ask your family and friends to write something to corroborate your story. If you have children with your British partner, you can show their birth certificate. And if you don't have this, guys, like I said, let your British partner meet their friends, their neighbors. Let them write something for you. The immigration officer is a human being. So if you write your story, they will listen. But if you go about just giving them things without putting evidence, you will not be there. Nobody will ask you. They don't have the patience. They're not going to phone you and say your documents are not complete. So guys, you need to prove your relationship beyond reasonable doubt. For instance, in my own case, I had a baby and we showed them that, look, we had a son. Our son passed on. We also showed them that while we're pregnant for our son, we were in a loving relationship. We supported each other. But that was not enough. We also showed the Home Office that we intend to continue this relationship. This is one part that people keep missing out. So it is not enough to tell the Home Office that you have a relationship. You need to show them that it is subsisting and what are your plans. You need to show them that when they give you this visa, you're not just going to run and start living your best life in Portugal. You need to show them what are you adding to the UK economy. So don't be a liability. So why they are asking for your financial proof is, can you look after yourself, or are you going to be a burden on the government? Or are you going to wake up and start calling government to give you accommodation or to give you food? So if you're going to apply for a UK visa, number one, don't be afraid, no fears. And secondly, don't go with lies. Be as truthful as you can be, and it makes the whole process easy. Again, put so many documents as much as you can. Even if you put 1,000 documents, make sure as you're saying your name is Simbi, you're adding your birth certificate as a document. As you are saying you can speak English, you're adding your master's degree certificate to show them you know what you're doing. Now, when your family and friends are speaking about you, they need to speak about your job. They need to speak about the kind of person you are. For instance, my mother-in-law, she was able, I even forgot to say these things to the Home Office. My mother-in-law told them that Blessing is a community carer. And it's true, she was not lying. And she said she's been my son's source of joy for a while. And this got to me, it made me happy. So whoever that officer is, they're going to read this and think about it well. Again, your UK partner needs to be active. So your UK partner cannot just be laid back, like you guys are not looking for something. So if your UK partner is just laid back, the immigration officer might think you are the one forcing the person to get this visa done for you. So guys, now if you want to take an English language test, you need to take it in the required test center, in an approved test center. Don't just go online. Anywhere you see, they say take English language test. This scam, people fall for it a lot in places like Nigeria and India and the rest of it. So if you're going to take an English language test, there are recognized and approved institutions. So don't just go online and waste your money and say it's English language test. Another advice I'll give you, please stop paying agents to apply for your visas for you. You can do it yourself. I did my visa myself. I applied last year from a place of bereavement and pain and loss, but I did it myself and it still came out good. So you can apply for yourself. So now, guys, if you apply for a UK visa and you are denied, you have legal grounds for approval. But again, it's not every time that you can apply. You can only apply on the grounds of, human rights and some immigration rules. So when you're going to appeal, don't just come blindly. You need to do your research. Now, when you're applying, what I did is, I didn't even wait to get to the point of appeal. When I was applying for my visa, I invoked the Human Rights Act, 1998, Article 8. the right to respect for private and family life. So guys, don't wait until your UK visa is denied before you start telling them of your human rights. You need to tell them of your human rights before you even apply for the visa. Again, immigration rules. If the application was rejected because of technicality, don't be afraid. You need to appeal. Don't be afraid. There are human beings behind that place doing these visas. Again, in some cases, if the visa refusal is breaching your fundamental human right, you have every right to appeal. Now, the law or applications is all about evidence and you knowing the law. So you need to do your research before you go and take your money and give one lawyer to do your UK visa for you. Do your research, sit down and think well. Write it like you're writing a story that you want a 5-year-old to understand. So as you're writing the stories, you need to be attaching it with evidence. Follow it chronologically. Don't let your visa application to just be haphazard. Now, don't lie in your visa. People do this a lot. They forge documents. Why are you forming documents? If, for instance, you are separated or divorced, if you don't have a divorce, if you're not divorced yet in court, you can just write it in your application. Tell them, they will listen. They are human beings. Don't go about forging divorce letter and all these things. When you're going to apply for your indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom, don't forget, they're going to be looking at all these things. So don't make up any documents. If you were married to someone before and they are refusing to give you divorce, you don't need to force them. Explain it to the Home Office. Write it in your story. Tell them, this person is not giving me divorce, but I have moved on. Since then, I am now in love with somebody else. So don't falsify documents. Don't make up documents. So guys, again, if you cannot meet the financial requirements, don't go for 5 years route. Go for the 10 years route. Explain your exceptional circumstances to them. Tell them why you cannot meet up. Don't keep quiet. Don't become an overstayer. Again, if you're listening to me and you're an overstayer, this is your sign. You can still fix it. These people are human beings. Now, all I will tell you is your UK partner needs to be strong. They need to be there for you. They need to stand. Their family needs to stand for you. You can't do it on your own. So if you're coming to apply for your UK visa, we said number one, before you even apply, make sure you have your ECOWAS passport. Make sure you can speak English. You understand English a little. Make sure you intend to continue with that person. You don't hope to just collect their visa and run away. Now we spoke about administrative review. So if the visa was refused due to the error of the Home Office, you can request for administrative review. You need to know your rights. You can't just keep quiet about everything. If they don't give you visa, don't keep quiet and run and go and be an overstayer. You need to keep applying. If possible, don't ever let yourself become an overstayer. If it means applying and applying until you get it, keep doing that until you get it. So in conclusion, applying for a UK family visa involves meeting several specific requirements. So you need to provide proof that you have an authentic relationship. You need to provide proof that you have financial stability. You need to also show that your relationship is genuine, not made up relationship, like I always say. Again, if you don't have marriage certificates, you can show pictures. You can show WhatsApp chats. You can show your holiday pictures. You can give birth certificates of your children. You can show pictures of parties you've attended together. You can get your family and friends to corroborate your story. So guys, there you have it. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you have any question at all as regards UK family visa, please leave your questions and I'll be sure to address them tomorrow when we come back to speak about UK family visa.